and we'll get going. I'm going to just make sure that it's there. It says we're live.
Awesome.
Let me just get a visual on it. It's crazy. Technology is nuts.
Oh my gosh, I know, no kidding. Can you see me okay? I look like I'm so dark.
Let me, hold on a second. And I'm like, my computer's like, you're trying to have me do too many things. You are a little dark.
Okay. I'll see. You know what? I'm going to go grab a lamp. I'm going to see if this will help.
Let's do that. Hey, everybody. We are live, I think. Yes, we are. That's super awesome. Yay. Okay, so I just need to make sure that this is muted. If you guys can see us,
Everybody.
huh?
We are live.
We are live
Yes,
in my, it's our little challenge group is called Forever Fit Revolution.
Awesome. I love that.
And so I'm super excited. This is the first guest call that we've had. Hang on here a second. Okay. It's got to be quiet.
So I just need to make sure that this is muted.
Oh, I'm like echoing myself. Hold on. There we go. Okay, that's awesome. It's distracting enough. We don't need all that madness going on. So I'll check for questions and stuff as we get going. But I just want to take a moment and thank Julie. She did not have to do this, but out of the goodness of her heart, and I have a feeling because of the passion that she has for this topic, she's like, I would be happy to talk to your people about, knees and how to protect their knees and modifications. And so I'm so excited to have Julie on because, I can just tell instantly she has a heart of gold. So, Julie, why don't you tell us, look at you, beautiful. You're like strutting through the house.
I know, there I am. Now I'm out of the dark.
Now you're out of the dark. It's good.
I am.
Tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what your background is and like how this all came about.
So, and I had not taken off the weight like I needed to at the beginning. I'm actually going to move one more time because my internet's not the greatest. Can you guys hear me okay?
I can now. You froze for just a brief millisecond on my end. I don't know about everyone else's, but that's okay. You're back.
Okay, I'm like, oh my gosh, all right, where am I going to go that I'm going to have to get internet?
I love, you've got like all this energy. It's crazy awesome.
I know. I'm like, all right, let's see here. Okay, I think this should work.
Okay.
So I found that I was a mom. I had this awesome friend who had told me about Beachbody, and she had just signed up herself as a coach, and she was like, I think you should do this. It's the 21-day fix. It's an easy program to eat with, and you should try it. And I was like, I don't know. I've tried everything. I'm thinking, yeah, this should work. This should be totally fine. And she had said, I promise you, it's only 21 days. And when all the programs I had done before had been 3 months, 6 months, all these really long-term timetables that I was like, I can't do that. Where 21 days, I was like, okay, let me give this a try. Fast forward 18 months later, I had lost 70 pounds and I found a love for fitness. I loved every single part of it. I had started to attend group fitness classes. The coach that had introduced me to 21-day fix was a local instructor, and she was amazing. And I started going to group fitness classes. I loved it, but my biggest problem was there was a lot of people that would take these classes and there was never any modifications given. None. We were doing burpees and box jumps and crazy stuff, but there was never an option. And my back,
super sad.
It was. It was really kind of, because it was, even though I was in this room full of all these people, I felt so lonely and defeated because I couldn't do the exercises. And it made me feel like I wasn't enough. And even though nobody else was judging me, they were only in their zone working on their workouts. For me, I just felt like I wasn't good enough to be there. And it was such a horrible feeling. And the reason I couldn't do a lot of the stuff was back in 2004, I was hit by a drunk driver. Oh, and my leg had been crushed. And in that, I've had multiple surgeries. I had, over the course of 3 years, basically lived in a bed because it was one surgery after another. And I, was now dealing with just the after effects. By the time I'm 40, I'll probably have to have a knee replacement. I just had my last surgery back in September, and that was for ACL, PCL, MCL, and medial meniscus. So it's not even small surgeries, it's big stuff. And when I had decided that I was going to be a Group X instructor, I wanted to be the person that when somebody said, what's impossible, I can't do this, I wanted to show them that, yes, you can absolutely. There's no reason in this world that you can't exercise. And so that became my mission. And all my education, I didn't even get Group X certified. I went straight to personal trainer. NASM is the best. It's the most recognized, and it has the highest reputation for being just amazing. And so I went for it. I went big, and I started with my NASM personal trainer. Then I got PIO certified. PIO was so completely out of my realm of comfortability, or comfortableness, I should say. And it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, let's do it. Everything else has been outside of my comfort zone. I never thought I'd have the confidence to actually get in front of a class and teach. Why not teach the scariest thing for me? And that was PIO. So Cam Niskatch, if any of you guys know her, she's the Master Trainer of the Year. She was actually my master trainer. She's my master trainer mentor because I am going after master trainer for Beachbody.
Oh, I love it!
So exciting. And she has certified me in all of my formats. So I have everything except for Country Heat and Quarter Force, which she's coming to my gym to certify everybody for Quarter Force. So I'll get that in March. And then from there.
That's crazy because Quarter Force is so much like on your, like there's a lot of twisting and stuff on your knee, and you can do it.
You're okay. Yeah. And well, so here's the thing with Quarter Force is I'll have to modify, and that's okay because my people kind of understand that, and they know that that's my reputation. They know that they're going to be safe in my classes, but they're going to be effective. So even though there is a lot of twisting and there's also, I've taken enough of Cam's classes. Sorry, I'm like trying to get around to get in some better light here. With having taken Cam's classes and doing Quarter Force on Beachbody On Demand, I've been able to option it to where it fits. I understand my body enough to understand where it can go and where it cannot. With all of the education that I've had, my first one after I got my personal trainer was corrective exercise specialist. And so I specialized in corrective exercises, in muscle imbalances, how to properly fix from someone just by watching their squat. So I'll have them do a squat assessment, and it takes me 2 seconds to tell you exactly what's wrong. I can even say, oh, okay, so you've got this overactive muscle and underactive muscle located in your neck. So it's just even down to that, just from a simple squat. It's crazy how—
Dude, I want to come out and see you just so you can analyze me and tell me everything I'm doing wrong.
And that's what's amazing is that now, especially through like video conferencing and stuff, I'll have clients that I have at home that I'll send them, they'll have like a program that they have to follow, but then they also have to send me videos. And so I'll Zoom call in with them, or I'll video FaceTime, and we'll do a workout, and then I'll watch them, and I'll watch how they move and see, like, is everything working? Okay. No, I need you to do this. Oh, no, I need you to do this. This is where this needs to be fixed. So
that's so awesome. I love it. Oh my gosh. Like, what a crazy, amazing story. And I love that you're just a testimony to like never letting, your circumstances become excuses.
No.
And you're helping people overcome whatever might be holding them back. Because I do think there's like a mental game we all play. Whenever we have a limitation, we start playing this broken record in our head. And we really do need other people just like you to help take away and say, nope, there's a way you can do it. There are no excuses here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I know a lot of the girls, I'm going to like refresh my feed here in case anyone's dropping down some questions. But I have quite a few girls who have some knee issues, and especially with 80-day obsession and the one specific squat I think we were all talking about. And everyone should know that you and I got connected through the coach test group because it's awesome. And I just find it absolutely amazing that there's like 30,000 coaches in there. And yet somehow, like, my question, you get tagged and we get connected. And that is just the power of the community. I just think it's freaking amazing. But we were talking about the Buddha squats because those are definitely challenging on the knee. And so you offered to come in and talk about how to protect the knee and especially talk about the Buddha squat.
Yes. So I love the programs. And the first thing that I'll tell you is I am actually one of Chris Downing's trainers.
Oh, yes!
You're
in the social test group and I didn't know?
So what Chris did was he had a local test group that did the program, but we weren't allowed to because it was not through Beachbody. It was just specific for his testing. We were able to do the program before, like, the Beachbody, before everything was ready, but it was only certain people. So he couldn't get me into the official test group. So he let me do this on my own because he's like, I think this is going to work. Let me see how this can work. And because of my background, he was interested to see how this was going to affect me and where my health is.
Yeah.
So we kind of played around with things. I had been doing one-on-one sessions with him for quite some time and had been working out of his gym. He lives like 10 minutes from here. And so we just kind of started. And what's crazy is because Chris is so phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
What he calls is the gym fam. They have not let any trainers in. I've been the first trainer that was actually accepted into teaching at his gym in 5 years.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So it's been so cool to, like, work with those people and then to work with him. But man, Shift Shop is one where I love it. I do. And him and I will disagree on so many things. Super trainers they're contracted to their program. So they have to be careful of what they recommend. Unless it's in the video, they can't recommend alternatives. But that's where I get to step in. And so I can say, well, I'm not contracted to Shift Shop. So I can actually option this out for you. Sure. And with Shift Shop, that was one where I had a lady she was 401 pounds when we started. She is 293.
Are you kidding me?
Yes. She's amazing. And she did Shift Shop.
I believe it. We had Jamie in our group, and she was, I don't remember how heavy she was, but she was several hundred pounds. Yes. So yeah, that's amazing. And she modified everything.
She modified everything. So there's always options out there for us. Chris always talks about, yes, Shift Shop's awesome, but if it's a workout that you don't love and you are finding you're resenting the program, go find something that you love. It's always been about your journey and how you feel. And are you doing this from a place of love? Are you doing it from a resentment standpoint?
Right.
And so he'll tell people, like, of course I want you to do Shift Shop, but if it doesn't work for you and you don't love this and you're feeling awful, find a program that you do love and then get all the elements of what I offer, So it's cool. When he had told me about that, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to feel bad or fearful of optioning workouts out or like I'm stepping on toes because there's so many more people out there. The Buddha squat is one that I love every single move that's in 80-Day Obsession, but that was the one where I shook my head and just kind of went, who in the world approved that move?
You know what? It doesn't bother my knees at all. Like, at all. I'm okay in it. So I feel strong in it. So, but I can see where anyone who has like knee issues, if I had a bad knee day, does that make sense? Then that would be hard for sure.
Yeah. And that's where it's like some of the things, they just fancy them up so that they're a little bit different than what it is. Everything else that she does in the videos, because I'm going through PT right now. So they're my sounding board for a lot of things that I necessarily don't know, that I have questions for them. So I'll talk about different things. And I had even asked them about the Buddha squat and they're like, oh my God, are you serious? That move is in there? No, don't do that. Don't do that. And it's just for a lot of reasons. It's hips. It's unless you've got a trainer that's there watching you do that squat and can fix your form on the spot, or you're somebody that your background is where you're like, yes, I can do this, or you don't have pain doing it, then by all means you can. But that's one where there's a very small percentage out there that can actually do that, and they can do it well.
Yeah.
So
what do you recommend then in place of it? Because obviously they don't want to just sit out. They want to feel like they're participating. So how do you modify something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the Buddha squat, all the focus is that you're working on your glutes. So the focus is really, really, really on the glutes. And some of the options that you can do are what's called a Bulgarian split squat. They've done them in hammer and chisel. You've seen them. So you put your foot up on a bench. I'm going to use, of course, you guys are in my bedroom.
I know them well. They're painful. That'll hit you. That'll hit the booty.
Exactly. So you're putting your foot up on like a bench or something like this, and then you're making sure that you're sitting your heels back, and then you're coming up. So what happens when you're doing that move is you're still isolating the glutes and you're still getting the benefit of it. But what's not happening is that odd angle that happens in the Buddha squat. So the biggest problem with the Buddha squat is the pressure that goes into the patella. And it's almost like that sharpshooting pain that can happen. So unless you're well developed and you've got good shin muscles and everything's good to go, that one's going to be really, really it's just going to be hard on the muscles. I don't do that one. I option it out. So the first one would be the Bulgarian split squat. The other option is to take it to a normal squat. A squat and a lunge are the exact same thing. My people that have knee issues that they say lunges bother them, I tell them to take it to a squat. They work the exact same muscle groups. There's no difference between them. It is more comfortable for them. And I would rather you load up on weights and be able to do a squat safely in that position than worry about doing something that's fancy. So those are actually super common areas you can go to. Yeah, super option.
It's all about the squeeze and the glute really up at the top of the squat. So you don't even have to go super deep. If you have knee issues, you can modify and keep it a higher squat and still get that squeeze up at the top, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think that's actually going to be a gift for a lot of people in my group who probably feel a little defeated that they were having trouble with the Buddha squat and they so desperately want to be successful in the program but are just feeling limited. For them to have the freedom to like swap that out with either the Bulgarian or just a normal squat, they're going to be feeling so much more like they're in control and that they are actually succeeding. So I'm super encouraged by that myself. You know what I mean? Because no one should ever leave a workout feeling defeated.
No, they shouldn't. And that's the thing. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like, how much of a lonely feeling, even though you're in the basement and nobody else is watching you work out. If you can't do something and even the modifier is not an option for you, if I could be in on any kind of program for Beachbody, the very first thing that I would do is I would have a chair modifier in there. I think that there are so many people that could relate to somebody that does everything in an upright position and off the floor. Modified versions or the modifiers are still always down on the floor. And the first thing that any PT person is going to do is we're going to take it up off the floor. You're going to be either using your coffee table or you're going to be using a wall. And the thing that always makes me scratch my head is why wouldn't you have somebody that's in a chair? Like make this for that person that is, I'm not able to get down to the ground. What about the people that have bad knees, but they need to lose that weight in order to make those joints feel better? Then reach out to those, because those are really the people that are starting their journey. They're the ones that are afraid to go to the gym. They're the ones who are doing their workouts at home because that's where they feel safe. So let's make them safer. And let's put that option of a chair in there,
Yeah, it's interesting because they did do that in Sean Week. There is a chair modifier, which was awesome. Yeah, it was so awesome because my mom is one of those people who she's never going to be able to get down on the floor probably for the rest of her life. You know what I mean? And so anytime that you tell her get down on your knees, she's out. She feels so defeated because that's not even an option for her. So I'm so grateful for you and your time today. Look at you, just walking.
I know. I'm like, okay, where is there light? Oh, there's some light.
Don't fall. Oh my gosh. I'm like having these nightmares of you going backwards down the stairs. I'm like, no, don't do it, Julie. So is there anything else that you want to just kind of share real quick with the group about just encouraging them to, modify and not quit? Oh, your kitten cat. Your kitten cat is right there.
I know. I was going to say, I have my big boy, Ollie. He's ginormous. He's like 33 pounds. He needs 80 day. The cat version. That's what he needs. I will send you a video. So I did a whole, I have a video series on, there's a group that I actually created because of the ADD obsession. There was so many people that had responded to the idea of me doing Zoom calls to check form that I created the Mod Squad Mom, and it is a closed group, but it has videos of everything. So I have a video and I'll send it so you can share it in the group. It is specifically for the Buddha squat and the options for it, and me showing you how to do those.
Oh, that's brilliant.
The way that they should. If you have anybody that's dealing with issues of trying to get down, there's several different options that are available on those. If you have anybody that's having wrist issues, if they're having trouble with the tricep, especially the tricep dips, this is one that has actually come up several times in the group, is the tricep dip. That is one, if you are short, I am 4'11", I cannot do a tricep dip on the floor.
I'm 5'2", so it's like,
I know, exactly. It's like, I'm not getting any benefit out of this. My butt keeps hitting the floor every time my elbows just bend slightly. So I take that one to a coffee table, and then I can get lower, and it works so much better. Like, there really is. Never feel bad about optioning a move. All you're doing is you're fighting that defeated feeling that you have. Always remember that you have a beginning, and everybody does. Everybody has a beginning. This is a completely new program. If you see people that are saying, oh, I've got to go up in my weights and I'm 2 weeks into the program, okay, no. You're not doing something right. Your form is suffering in some way, because if we're 2 weeks into a program and you are just new to exercising, I can guarantee you don't need 45-pound weights to do your squats at this point in time. Don't be afraid of going down in weights. Don't be afraid to slow down that move. Don't be afraid of grabbing a mirror and watching yourself do that workout, because I can tell you, as much as you don't want to view yourself, that's the best way that you're going to be able to continue, and you're going to continue to be amazing at your job and amazing at what you're doing. And that's where the change is going to happen. It's truly inspiring when I can have somebody that doesn't suffer from doing a workout, when they can actually feel sore and they feel like they might be dying, but it's just really because I've just, made their muscles sore. Nothing else is wrong. It's just
not pain. They're not in pain. They are sore.
Exactly.
It's a different kind of, it's a pain you can brag about when you're sore.
Yes. And don't ever feel, if you come to a move and you feel like, I can't do this, listen to your intuition. Be okay with the idea that there is better options out there, and that's okay to admit, and it's okay to say, like, this just isn't working for me. I've done that. I have said, like, oh, I love this. Cardio core is actually really difficult for me because of all the jumping. The jumping in place really kills my knees. And that is one where, yes, I get the benefit of the core. So I'll take the core, but I'll do a different cardio workout, because cardio is cardio. It just is. So why not do what you love? Find a cardio that's in place. Size. I love size to be at home and dance like a white girl. It is awesome.
I have very embarrassing video out there of me trying to do size. I'm sure.
Yes, I love that. But how much fun did you have making that video?
I had a blast, and I did. I had a total blast, and I would do, after you learn the routine, I would do it in full play, like 10 extra times, because you were trying to get the routine down perfectly,
Yep.
But I did opt out. There was one program I did. Cardio is my Achilles heel. It always has been. And Shift Shop actually kind of helped me get over a major hurdle with cardio, because week one I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to die, and I don't think I can do this program. And who is this Chris person? But honestly, like, he totally helped me push past that. But before that, with Insanity Max 30, I got through probably the first 2 weeks of the program, and it wasn't my jam. You know what I mean? Like, I love Sean. I love what he was doing, but like all that cardio, all that jumping, I was like, I just need to get some like core and, strength in here. And so I did. I jumped ship and went back to a program that I loved and felt engaged in. And that's okay.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing is I've co-coached challenge groups with other coaches that were very strict on their program guidelines. They're like, yep, you need to follow this. You have to follow the program and it needs to stay this way.
Yeah.
And what I found is I didn't find joy in that program. I think it was because of the strict guidelines and that you had to do this. I look at that and think, how is that going to fix me long-term? I'm always about the long-term goal. So how is this going to work? 80-day obsession, I love the workouts. For me, the time to nutrition is really difficult. And it was something that I really honestly had to step away and say, like, this is giving me anxiety because I'm worrying about the alarms that are going off. Where I have so many challengers that love the time nutrition and they love how they feel, but that diet just didn't vibe with me. So what I did instead is I'm following the Shift Shop plan because that was the one that I did love. Mm-hmm. And I felt good on that one and went back to that, but I'm doing the 80-day obsession. And I think that's the thing where, yes, they say you got to be strict, but at the end of the day, it's your workout and it is not a one size fits all.
That's right. Okay. I do have a question from one of my challengers. She's asking about the modified video. Yes, Ezgi, we're going to get the video link and we'll post it in the group. But she also says, walking up and down the stairs, that she has a sharp pain in her knee.
So that can, and of course I'm not a doctor, PT, so I can't diagnose or treat, but usually when you have pains going up the knee, so like I have that in mine, and mine is due to a couple different reasons. So after this last surgery, I have nerve damage, and so I have no quad function, and my kneecap slips. If somebody has a weak VMO muscle, which is located, it's like the muscle that it's part of your quad, and it is the muscle that is located towards the inner part of your kneecap. That muscle is weak on most individuals. So especially like you can see them if they're weak, if somebody squats and their knees turn in, that usually is a very good indication that your hips are weak and your VMO is not functioning the way that it should, because it should actually be pulling things outward. If you're having sharp pains in the knee, depending on if it's inward or outward, it can be arthritis. It can be something as simple as a really tight IT band that just rolled out. It can be a couple different options. I fully believe in K-taping. I use it. I don't use any braces when I teach or do any of the programs, but what I do is a K-tape. And the one that has worked the best because of that sharp pain when I'm going upstairs is a C tape. So what it does is it looks like a C and it goes around the outside of my kneecap. It holds everything in place and it feels amazing. It really, really, really does help.
Awesome. So we'll definitely point her in that direction. Yeah. And is there also, but you said it's a muscle in your, or it can be, I mean, obviously she would need to go to a doctor to get somebody to look at it, but if it's a muscle in your quad, if you are strengthening your quad, is that going to help your knee issues?
It will, but there's certain ways. So because the quads are made up of 4 muscles,
right?
Each one of those muscles, it's not like the ab muscles where it's one muscle. And so you're working any kind of ab exercises you're doing is still working the abs. There's no lower abs. There's no upper abs. That doesn't exist. It's just one ab. Where the quad, there's 4 separate muscle groups. And so you have to strengthen those in certain ways. So the best way that anybody's going to tell you is straight leg raises. So as you're sitting on the floor, I'll show you because I'm actually sitting this way. Like, there we go. So you turn your toe outwards and all you do is you raise it up. And what that does is right here is where that VMO muscle is.
Yep.
Will actually help to strengthen. And you'd be surprised at how hard those are to do. So just straight leg raises are the way to go. A lot of the stuff that's in the booty workouts, that is actually strengthening the it's getting the VMO, it's getting the hip flexors, it's getting,
Yeah, with the bands when you have to like keep your legs out as you are doing the hip thrusts, right?
Yeah.
Like engaging all that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then the other thing too is if you're finding that you're still having issues with proper squat form, don't be afraid to wear the bands while you're doing squats. Like I will, when we do, tomorrow we've got total body core, with that squat, rotate and press, because my one knee wants to turn inward, I actually wear the band around my thigh, and then it tells my brain, oh, you need to pull your knees out. You need to keep your knees out and make sure that you're not letting them in, because I got to push against that resistance. And it doesn't hurt, but it still is working on that those hips, and it's really strengthening it, and it's putting the work in the glutes where it should be. So that is one of the first things that I'll say, like, don't be afraid to wear those bands. Those bands are magic.
That's awesome. So you just wear them around your thighs, and you do the squat, press, whatever thing that is. Yep. I call it the evil move.
I know. It is. It's like, oh my gosh, I love like complex movements like that.
I do too. Like, Strength 45 was my jam. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. So I love anything like that. But yeah, any of the strength, any of the squat stuff, if they're still finding issues with squatting down, like they can't get very far, they're not able to drop their hips, you'll hear that cue a lot from a lot of the trainers is drop your hips, drop your hips, drop your hips. That's still not making sense. A lot of times what people have is they have low ankle mobility, or poor ankle mobility. And so what they do is you take books and you put them underneath your heels and then squat, and you'll be amazed. Even I, who am always in tennis shoes, I can squat way lower and it doesn't hurt my knees if I just put my heels on books. And it just changes the way that the squat works. If somebody wears high heels for work and they're in high heels all the time, that is something very, very, very common, that the back of their legs are it's overactive muscles. So those muscles are constantly tight. And when you raise them up into the heels, then they can drop their hips and they can sit back in that squat. It's amazing, but it's totally fine to do.
That's so cool. So do you just pop like a book against the wall and kind of squat that way so it doesn't slide around?
You know what? As long as your heels are on there, you shouldn't have any issues with them sliding, because there's not so much. You want to make sure that like the arch, you should have the book where like the arch of the foot is, and then you're all the way back. I put them on my carpet, and I usually have them on my carpet or a yoga mat. Use a yoga mat because it'll have a nice grip to it, and then they won't slip. And you just squat, and you'd be amazed at how much better they feel.
But your toes are on the ground and your heels are on the book.
Yep.
That's so crazy. Well,
I will warn you, you will be a lot more sore from doing them, because
really? I'm going to probably try it this week. I'm going to try it this week.
Yeah, you should. There's a move, they call them sissy squats, and it's where you put your weights on heels or plates. Sissy squats, because they're so incredibly, you're so sore the next day, but it's the good sore. It's the sore that's supposed to happen because you work those muscles correctly.
Oh my gosh. Well, I will tell you what, Andrew and I do have it on our bucket list to come out and do one of the open gym days with Chris. So maybe,
awesome.
Are you going to be in Riviera Maya?
Yes, I will be there.
Which wave are you going?
The second wave.
You're going turtle?
Yes.
No, I'm dolphin.
Oh,
I'll have to warm up the resort for you.
Perfect. There you go.
Julie, you are just a blessing. I'm so grateful for you and your expertise, and I'm grateful for how you're sharing your story. I wish you abundant success, sister. You've got so much to give the world. So I thank you for your time, and I'm sure my people have been blessed by you. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah, no problem. Let me know if you guys ever, have any other questions. I'm happy to share. And like I said, I'll make sure to send you that video on the Buddha squat and options for it. And if anybody else has anything else that they have questions on, just let me know.
Well, you are amazing. Thank you so, so, so much. And give Chris a big hug for me, okay?
I will.
All right, girl. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.